So in this lesson, you are supposed to know how to determine the number of solutions when you picture. So you'll be given a picture that has already been solved. You need to know the picture of the graph, how many, which type of solution you're seeing. Then you're supposed to solve the systems of equation by graphing. After you graph, you should look at the graph and determine which kind of solution have you gotten. Okay, so that's what you're doing in this lesson. Now, right now, we are reading. So you need to be able to use all this vocabulary. You need to know systems of equation, consistent, independent, dependent. What do they mean? Okay. As we are solving, you will discover, so then you will understand how to use these words here. Okay. A set of two or more equations, So you'll be given a set of two or more equations. Maybe you'll be given y equals to 5x minus 7, and another one y equals to, or you can be given another one. They might not look the same. So you can be given here 2x plus 3, or can be given another set, 3x plus 7, 7y to 5, can be given 7x equals to 8, like that. Okay. So plus y can be given a system just like this. Okay. So what is a system? Just two equations, two linear equations together. Okay. Now with the same variables, so you see x and x, y and y, x and x. What does that mean? You cannot have, if here has y and x, this one should also have y and x. It cannot have z and m, or you cannot have z and a, or x and p. The half must be the same, okay? So when you have the halves the same and you have two or more equations, we are calling them as systems of linear equations, okay? An ordered pair. What is an ordered pair? A point. When you write it x comma y, like that, that's what's an ordered pair. An ordered pair is sometimes called a coordinate, or sometimes it's called a point. Yes? Okay, is the solution. This is the solution, okay, of both equation. It is the answer to this equation and the answer to this equation. Not the answer to just one. It has to be the answer to both of them, okay? An ordered pair that is a solution of both equations is a solution of the system, okay? A system of two linear equations can have one solution, or it can have infinite number of solutions, or it can have no solutions. So how many types of solutions? We have three types of solutions. Three types of solutions. Who are the three types of solutions? One solution, infinite number solution, no solution. Okay? A system of equation is consistent if it has at least one ordered pair that satisfies both equations. What does that mean? You are consistent if you have a solution. If you have a solution. And who has a solution? When you have one solution and infinite number of solutions. That's the only time you're consistent. So you're consistent if your answer is one solution or if your answer is infinite number of solution. Okay? Now, when you're consistent, you happen to either be independent or dependent. When are you independent? When you have one solution. When are you dependent? When you have infinite number of solutions. Okay? So remember, you are consistent because you have a solution. If you have a solution, you're either independent or dependent. If you are independent, it means you're one solution. If you are dependent, it means you're infinite number of solutions. Now, when you have no solution, you are inconsistent because you are no solution. There is no point. Okay? Now, how will you know you have no solution? Your graph will be parallel. Okay? All right, we move on. So now here, when you're solving systems of equations by graphing, your answer can either be consistent or no consistent. If your answer is consistent, it means you have a solution. That's what that means. If your answer is inconsistent, it means you have no solution. If you have no solution, it means you are neither independent nor dependent. Okay? If you have a solution, it means you're independent or dependent. Now, how will you know from your graph that you're independent or if you have one solution? You will know from your graph when your graph makes the shape of an intersecting lines. It will make an X with the lines. You will have two lines that cross each other. The point of intersection, which is this one here, is what we are calling the solution, and you will write it as X, Y. When you write it as X, Y, it means one solution. Are we together? Okay. Now, how will you know? Because you don't need to draw the graphs for you to know whether you have one solution. How will you know you have intersecting lines? The slope, first, you need to change your equation to start as y equals mx plus b. Both equations. Now, you will look at both equations. You'll have two equations, okay? If the slopes are different, if these rackhams here are different, always, and these are different sometimes, then your answer will always be one solution. Okay? If your equation has different slopes, and sometimes it will have the same y-intercept, sometimes the y-intercept will be different. If you have that, then you have one solution. Now, let's come to infinitely many solutions. Infinitely many solutions, when you draw your two equations, they will become one line. And those lines are called coinciding lines. When you put two lines together and join to become one line, they're going to be called coinciding lines, okay? How will you know you have infinitely many solutions? When you draw your graph and your graph becomes one line. When you're looking at your equation, you will have y equals mx plus b and y equals mx plus b. If this rackham for the slope is the same, and this rackham for the y-intercept is the same, then you will always have infinitely many solutions. What do I mean by that? Y equals 5x plus 7, y equals 5x plus 7. It is the same equation. The slopes are the same rackham, the y-intercepts are the same rackham, then you have infinitely many solutions. Okay? Inconsistent. When you draw your graph, you'll get parallel lines, either going diagonal going up or diagonal going down or horizontal. Okay? Now, when you have parallel lines, you will say you have no solution. How will you know you have parallel lines? The slopes will be the same, but the y-intercept will always be different. So your equation will look like this. Y equals 5x plus 7 and y equals 5x plus 8. So slope will be the same, y-intercept will be different. When slope is the same and y-intercept is different, always you will get parallel lines. When you get parallel lines, it means you are inconsistent. It means you have no solution. Okay? And your graph will look like that. Parallel lines. Okay, we move on. Now, in this question, you've been told to use the graph. The picture has been drawn for you. Here is the graph to determine the number of solutions. Okay, that's the first part of the question. You need to use the picture to determine how many solutions you have, how many solutions the system has. You need to state whether the system is consistent or inconsistent, and you need to state if it is independent or dependent. As you can see, your graph is making intersecting lines. It is making an X. If it is making an X, you have one solution. If you have one solution, you are consistent. If you are one solution, you are independent. Okay? Now, remember what did we say? One solution, the slopes are different. So the slopes here are who? The slopes are -3 and 1. -3 is the Rackham with X. The Rackham with X over here is 1. Because it is not written, it is 1. Okay, so the slopes are different. The y-intercepts are different. So that means one solution. Now, when you look over here, your graph has made parallel lines. When your graph has made parallel lines, it means you have no solution, you are inconsistent, you are neither independent nor dependent. That's what these parallel lines mean, okay? How else can I know? Remember we said parallel lines will have the same slope, but different y-intercepts. See, slopes are the same, but the y-intercepts are different. So they are parallel, and if you're parallel, you are no solution. If you are no solution, you are inconsistent. If you're consistent, you are neither independent nor dependent. Okay? Now here, the SWAL gave you different systems, and you had to choose. So here we looked at the graph. We went here, we looked for x minus 1, which is this one going up. And we looked for y equals to -x plus 1, which is this one going down here. Here is y equals to -x plus 1, and y equals to x minus 1 is this one here, And they are making an x, so that's why we said one solution, consistent, independent, like that, okay? Then we did the same thing, x minus y is this one here, and y equals to x plus 4 is the same line there. So it is one line, which means it's coinciding lines. If you're coinciding lines, you're infinitely many, you're consistent, you are dependent. So that's how we answered these questions over here, okay? Then we came over here, find the number of solutions in slope-intercept form, okay? Determine the number of solutions. So the same thing. We looked at the slopes. We say the slopes are the same. The y-intercepts are different. So we said our lines are parallel. If our lines are parallel, we will have no solution. We will be inconsistent. We'll be neither independent nor dependent. Okay? So the same thing here. Now, when you look at this one starts with y. This one does not start with y. So you have to make this equation start with y. So you will add 5x on both sides, then you will divide by 4. Then your equation will now have, your new equation will be y equals to 5 over 4x plus 9 over 4. Then you look at the slope. The slopes are different, and the y-intercepts are different. So you will have one solution. If you have one solution, you are consistent, you are independent. Okay? All right, so the same thing. We made both equations start with y. Our first equation became this. Our second equation became that. Now, what do you notice? The slopes are the same. The y-intercepts are the same. If you have the same slope and the same y-intercept, then it means you have one line on your graph. And if you have one line on your graph, that means you have infinitely many solutions, you are consistent, you are dependent. Okay? Then this you're supposed to do for practice. Okay? Now here, you want to solve systems of equations by graphing. You can solve a system of equation by graphing each equation carefully. So you should know how to graph. Graphing means you make a jadwal, you get 2 points, you put it on your graph, you draw your line, and then you see. Yes? So remember, if you have an X, one solution. If you have one line, infinitely many solutions. Yes? If your graph is parallel, then you have no solution. So you will draw. The su'al will give you equation. You will draw jadwal. You will get 2 points. You will put the points on the graph. You will connect. And then you will see what kind of graph you get. Okay? So we do this one. Okay? Even before I start, I look at my slope. My slopes are different. Slopes are different. I should know how my answer will be even before I start. Y-intercept is different. Y-intercept is different. So my answer will be, my answer will be, when slopes are different, y-intercepts are different, my answer will be one solution, independent, and consistent. Okay? That's how I know. Okay? This one asked me, graph the system, determine the number of solution. If it has one solution, okay, it did not ask me to say whether it's independent or consistent. So I need to come here, one solution, I need to write my answer for X, comma, Y. Okay, so now I take my first equation, I'll draw my jadwal. It has to have 3 columns. I'll have X and Y. And then I will write my equation here, 2X plus 14. I will choose 3 different rakams. If I use a negative, my number will be bigger, so I will use smaller. I will use positive rakams. So I will start with, if I start with 2, I will get 4, I'll get 10. Okay, so I'll start with 2, and then I will do 3, and I can do 4. It doesn't matter. I can also do 6. It doesn't matter. Any number 2 or more, because then I will get numbers that are here on my y-axis. All right, negative 2 times 2 plus 14. That will be negative 4 plus 14, which is 10. Negative 2 times 3 plus 14. This is negative 6 plus 14, which will be 8. And then negative 2 times 6 plus 14, negative 12 plus 14, which will be 2, like that. So the points I need to plot are 2, 10. And here you need to use 2 different colored pencils because you have 2 different equations. So you need to make sure you have 2 different colored pencils. 210 will be here. 38 will be here. I go to 0 on the origin. I go 3 boxes to the right, and I go up to 8. And then 6 will be 6 boxes on the x-axis from the origin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 2. Okay, how do I know I am correct? My slope is negative, my line should go down. With my mascara, I will join my points, just like that, and go all the way down and put an arrow, okay? Then I will choose a different color, choose blue, to do the next equation. So if I don't want to draw a jadwal, you don't have to draw a jadwal all the time. So this one is y equals to 3 over 5x plus 1. My first point will be my y-intercept, 0, 1. And then I will use rise over run to find my other points. My rise over run is 3 over 5. My rise over run is my M. So this means 3 up, 5 right. How do I know? My number is positive, I will go up. My number, the down number is positive, I will go to the right because this represents X and this represents Y. Okay? So I will go to 0, 1, which is here. And then after that, I will follow the slope. 5 right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 3 up. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3 here. Okay, 5 right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3 up, like that. Now, if I want to go down, I will do 5 left, 3 down. I'll do the opposite. So I can do 3 up, 5 right, or I can do 3 down. I'll do the opposite of up is down, opposite of right is left. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, like that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 3 down. 1, 2, 3. And then with my mascara, I just connect my points. Okay, this red line should meet over there also. Wait, I will show you. Okay, now I don't have a mascara, but the answer should be here. The answer should be here, like that. Okay, so the solution is here. The solution is here where you have both the red and the blue dot together. So you will write solution. No, don't write it over here because you need to, so label away, solution. Now you go here, you go to the X Rackham. What's this Rackham? 5 or 6, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, 5, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. So the answer is 5, 4. So the solution is 5, 4. This is the X Rackham, this is the Y Rackham. So you come here and you write it. One solution, 5, 4. You come here, this is the 5 Rackham. You go here, this is the 4th Rackham. From 0 to the right is 5. From 0 up is 4. Okay? So that's how you answer example 5. So you do the same thing for the check. Okay? Example 6, graph the system and determine, same thing. So make your equation start with y or write it in slope-intercept form. So you have negative 3x plus 2y equals 12 plus 3x plus 3x. So this goes away. You'll have 2y equals 3x plus 12. Divide by 2, divide by 2, divide by 2. This goes away. So this is y equals 3 over 2x. I cannot simplify this. I can simplify this and I will get 6. So my y-intercept is 0, 6. And then I will use rise over run because I don't want to draw the jadwal. So I'll do rise over run. So I'll do 3 up, 2 right, rise over run. Or I will do 3 down, 2 left. Okay, so I go to 0, 6 on my graph. 0, 6 will be here. Talata, Arba, Hamsa, Sita. It will be there. And then I use my rise over run. 3 up, 1, 2, 3, and 2 right. Okay. Then from here I can do 2 left, 2 left, 3 down. 2, 3, 2 left, 3 down, 2 left, 3 down, 2 left, 3 down, 2 left, 3 down. Okay, and then with my mascara, I go like this. Okay. Then I do this one in blue or a different color. It doesn't matter what color you use. And then you'll have 6x minus 4y equal 8 minus 6x on both sides. Negative 4y equals to negative 6x plus 8. Divide negative 4. I will get y equals to, I need to simplify this, 3 over 2x, and this will become negative 2. Now, what do I notice? My slopes are the same, but my y-intercepts are different, so I should have parallel lines. If I don't have parallel lines, I did something wrong. So my y-intercept for the blue line is 0, negative 2, and then my slope is 3 over 2. So this is 3 up, 2 down. No, 3 up, 2 right. And then I will do the opposite, 3 down, 2 left. Okay, so I go to 0, negative 2, which will be here. Then I follow my rule. 3 up, 1, 2, 3, 2 right. 3 up, 2 right. 3 up, 2 right. 3 up, 2 right. Then I do the same thing here. Okay. 2 left, 3 down. 3 down, 2 left. I cannot do because I don't have 3 boxes to go down. So I'll stop there. Then with my mascara, I will just join. I will join my points. Okay. And you notice your lines are parallel. So we answer this question. Did you graph? Yes, you have a graph. Did you determine the number of solutions? You say this system has no solution because my graph is parallel. Because my graph has parallel lines. Has parallel lines. Okay. Colors. So you cannot determine because you don't have solution. So this is your answer. And that's it. That's how your work should look. Okay? Same thing. See, that's how your answer should be. Then you do this for practice. That's it. This is the story. From this story, you're supposed to come with systems of equation. From the story, here is your systems of equation. When you drew, your system of equation is going to become an X. Your answer is here. Your solution is here. Here is your solution, where your 2 lines are meeting. So you need to get this Rackham for Y, and you need to get this Rackham here for X. Okay? Because the Swal is asking you, when will China and India have the same population? Here, China and India will have the same population where your 2 lines are intersecting. Okay? Right. Write a system by setting each expression to Y equals and graph the system. Okay. When your question comes like this This is your first equation. This is your second equation. Okay? So you can see here, we did this and we wrote this. Then you draw your jadwal, you put it on your graph, and you draw your line and determine. So when you look over here, the slope of the first equation is -6. The slope of the second equation is 0. How did I know it is 0? Because there's no number here with x. My y-intercept in the first equation is 8. My second y-intercept is -4. When slopes are different, one solution. Always. When slopes are different, one solution. This is how your graph should come out when you draw it. Okay, so that's the same thing we did over here. We wrote our equation. So this is equation 1, this is equation 2. We wrote them like this. We said slopes are different. Slope here is 3, slope here is 0, so they are different, one solution. Same thing here. Slopes are different, one solution. Same thing here. Slopes are different, one solution. Slopes are different, one solution. Slopes are the same. Slopes are the same, y-intercept is the same, infinitely many solution here for question 23. And then question 24, slopes are the same, y-intercepts are different, your lines will be parallel. Okay, so that's how you answer that. Here it's the same thing, we just have decimals, same thing. Just look at the slopes, look at the y-intercept. If they're the same, if they're different, then make your decision, okay? And then here, we wrote our equation. You need to know how to read and write. Denzel is starting a food truck business to sell gourmet grilled cheese sandwiches. Denzel is starting a food truck business to sell gourmet grilled cheese sandwiches. He spent he spent 34,000 on the truck, equipment, permits, and other startup costs. Each sandwich costs about $1.32 to make, and he sells them for $7. So you need to write your equation in your system and you need to solve it. Okay? So do that for practice. And you can ask me about it tomorrow in class. Do this example 10 for practice. I want to see your system and then we will discuss how it can look. All right? You have question 28 and 29 to do. And then you have these other ones to do. Practice them. Okay? And you do Aleph. That's the end of this lesson, I think. Yes. Same thing, practice. Okay?